Hi, in this video, we're going to show you how to get the Bantam Tools other mill PCB router set up to cut a PCB board. And we're going to use the Bantam Tools software here to load in that test file from the previous video. This is going to be a multi-part video series. So that way we're going to first in this one go over kind of what you need. How do we set up the board? How do we home and get this ready to go? And get it ready for cutting. The next video, we're going to actually do some cutting, and then the third one, we'll cut the backside and do a flip and cut backside. Okay. So on this first one, let's bring in the files. So we have this file here. We can go open files, and I want to open up that test file from before. So let's go computer. There we go. And I want to open up that GTL file that I made from the CAM file. So the CAM file from Bantam Tools. I'm going to go OK, and so here is the little PCB I want in there, just a small little thing. And let's say I wanted to bring in two. I could actually open up the file again, or a different file, and I could bring in another version of it and hit OK. Now it's going to put it right on top of the other, but you can see that there's two GTL files in here, test project. And what I can go do is go down here, I can change the location, and you can see this little placement. So instead of having both be 4 millimeters and 4 millimeters from the edge, let's see if I can move it over. Let's try 25. Let's see where that goes. Perfect. So you can see it moved it over so that there's about an inch of space from the edge here, right? So I have two files. You can also rotate if you want. I want to just do it just to show you. Hit 90 here, and you can see that it rotates, okay? And so this might help you get the right orientation to utilize the space correctly. Now, what are you going to need to cut this, okay? Well, obviously you need the machine. And so what we're going to do is we're going to turn this machine on. And what you'll notice is once I turn it on, the software asks, do you want to home? And so I'm going to make sure there's nothing in the machine, everything's good. I'm like, yep, okay, start homing. And you'll see it do its routine. It'll move the head around, it'll hit the limit switches and make sure it has an accurate starting point. Okay, all right. The other thing, while this is homing, I just want to show you what you need. You're going to need some double-sided tape. You're going to need some double-sided or single-sided FR4 PCB material, okay? You're going to need typically an engraving bit here, okay? This is a little engraving bit. Maybe a broken off bit, which is like a 1/8 inch probe. That's what we'll use. And then a 1/32. Now they have a bunch of different sizes, but this will cut any holes or outlines, all right? And by the way, this is what a typical PCB board is going to look like. You can see the traces here cut out. The engraving has cut this out. You have the holes, the outline. You might have some text here. So this is an example of a final cut PCB board, right? The other thing you're going to need is definitely these two wrenches, a little spatula thing to kind of pry it off, and this is a maybe, some blue-sided tape. Okay, so we go back to here. You can see it's all homed up, ready to go. And if you look closely, there's a bracket inside. So that bracket is right here. And that bracket is going to be used to locate the edge of this raw stock in there. Okay. So what we now need to do is we need to put in a probe, because we need the machine to know where that bracket is. So we're going to come up here, and I'm going to do two things. I'm going to remove the fixturing bracket. So I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to change the tool here so that I can put in a probe. So I hit change up in the upper right corner. I'm going to go to 1H probe, okay? And then I'm going to go in and actually install it. So let's remove these cover plates, these really nice magnetically connected cover plates. And I'm going to take I'm going to take this probe here, and notice this is just a broken old end mill. And I'm going to put the flat side down. So I'm going to put that in, I'm going to hand tighten it. Okay, so now it's hand tight, and there's a smaller and a larger wrench. I'm going to use the smaller one for the upper part and the larger one for the collet nut. So I'm going to rotate a little bit, get it here, and make sure it's nice and snug. Okay, don't over tighten, but definitely make sure it's secure in there. Okay, once it's in there, I can go and double check, is it all clear? I think everything is, so I can hit continue. Okay, and now it's going to move it over to the corner here. And so I'm going to make sure that this is clear of anything. There's a little emergency stop here on the right. And so I want to have my hand here ready to go before I hit this locate tool. So I hit locate tool, and I'm watching it, making sure that there's it doesn't fail, because it's going to do an electrical connect. And if it doesn't, electrically connect due to dirt or something, I want to make sure I can hit that stop button just in case. And that was just fine. Okay, so now it has the tool in place. It knows where it is. It knows where the 0 is, but it doesn't know where that bracket is. And so what we want to do is come into the software and hit locate on this bracket. Okay, so I'm going to hit locate there. And then again, it's going to ask me, are you ready? Okay, you want to attach this bracket. Notice you can put 3 screws. You put it in, let's assume, right? And now it's in there, and I'm going to hit continue. Okay, and it's going to do a similar procedure. It's going to go in, it's going to touch the bottom, it's going to touch 3 sides to the left, 3 sides to the front, and 3 sides to the right. And once it's done, it knows where that bracket is, so that way we can have corners here for the top and bottom. Because really what's going to happen is you're going to have this PCB board in there, and you're going to push it against the left. And then it's going to do its cutting and everything. And then when you're done, if you want to cut stuff on the bottom, you're going to take it off, rotate it, and you're going to push it against the right. And because it knows where that bracket is, it'll cut the holes and features on this side in the perfect location, right? And notice here, this is the single-sided FR4. All right, there's no copper on this side, but there is copper on this side. This is the double-sided. And I'm just using this old one. This is perfectly good in this area because my little file here only takes up this part. So why use a perfectly brand new piece when I can just use these scrap ones? So always save the scrap ones. Don't just throw these away, because they can be great for small little projects. All right. So now we're getting ready to load this in there. So we can take our double-sided Nitto tape, okay, and just cut off some pieces. I already pre-cut some pieces here. And you want to just think, well, how am I going to cut this? This one's pretty symmetrical, so it doesn't really matter. But if you know you're going to put it in, let's say this way, okay, like so, you go, okay, well, I'm going to first cut the top, let's say, and I want to locate it on the left corner. So I'm going to put it like this and rotate it. And that means I'm going to tape this side. So you want to get that orientation correct. So I'm going to come over here, down here, okay? And I have some pre-cut pieces here. And so let's put that on. 1, and then 2 here, and 3. Okay. All right, so I have my 3 pieces. And for this Nitto tape, what you got to do is you got to go and peel, just peel it, and you're going to peel this non-sticky part off. Okay, let's see it. Okay, and the sticky part, the double-sided sticky part remains. I'm going to do that for the other 2. And very carefully. Good. Shouldn't have cut my nails yesterday. Okay, and then the last one here. Okay, good. All right, so now I have those 3 sticky layers. So I'm going to come back up to here. Good. And I'm going to push it into the lower left corner right here, pushing it left, okay, diagonally. And I'm pushing it in this direction. And then I'm firmly applying pressure down, okay, down this way. All right, so now it's in there. Yay, I'm happy. Okay, all right. We got our part in here. Obviously, we have the probe. We're not quite ready to cut, but we can get this kind of set up, and we'll do that in the next video. Okay, see ya.